So good day everyone, I am Kenneth A. Gregorio and we will be discussing about the Industrial Revolution. Okay, so as we all know, the Industrial Revolution was the shift from manual labor to the use of machineries, right? So this was happened during the mid 18th century in Britain. So the Industrial Revolution was a peaceful change from manual work to mechanical and industrial production. It was not sudden or quick. It was a long, slow process over several centuries. The Industrial Revolution had two stages. So the first one is the first stage during the 1750 to 1850, where Britain took the lead in inventing new methods of production. So the first Industrial Revolution was more focused on the mechanization and the use of steam power, while the second stage that happened during the 1850 to 1914, US and Western European nations also became modern industrial powers. So the second industrial revolution brought about the advances in steel production, electrification, communications, leading to a more extensive economic and social changes. So eventually, the Industrial Revolution completely changed the patterns of life in the entire world. So the Spiritual Revolution in Britain. As visitors look in awe at the trains, power looms, steam engines, and other machines, they could see how far their world had come in the 1800s. In the 1700s, Britain had suffered loss of the 13 colonies in America. France and Europe was embroiled in the bloody and violent revolutions and wars. So the economic and political uncertainties then were made worse by loss of morale in British society. So a Christian revival swept Britain and brought message of salvation and hope by faith. In the late 1700s, the powerful evangelists inspired the crowds. People began returning to the Bible and of course to the church. The Christian revival introduced the Christian education in Britain. So the spiritual revival created a spirit of hope and opened new opportunities for the nation. So Britain as the cradle of the Industrial Revolution. The favorable conditions which made Britain the cradle of the Industrial Revolution were as follows. So the first one is of course the Wesleyan Christian revival, which I have said earlier. They emphasized the work ethic and promoted through Christian education the hope that poor people could better themselves. The second is the abundance of natural resources like coal, iron, and water in Britain. The improvements in agriculture expanded food supply that made people healthier and happier and increased the population. Britain had many skilled artisans, including those who had fled in France, Germany, and other European countries during the religious persecution and wars. Being a colonial power, Britain had plenty of raw materials and markets for manufactured products. Because we all know that during the mid 1800s, Britain had colonized big countries such as the Canada, India, and other small countries like the Bangladesh and Australia and Jamaica. Excluded the Bangladesh. It includes the Australia and Jamaica. So the agricultural revolution. The changes in British farming greatly increased the amount and variety of food produced. People with enough food in their stomach always start the day well, of course. So the invention of farm machines also increased food productions. One day, Jethro Tull, a British inventor, got an idea in church while watching the organ pipes playing music. In 1701, he perfected a horse-drawn seed drill to efficiently plant seeds in neat rows into the soil. So before the Industrial Revolution, Britain's agriculture was dominated by traditional farming methods and tools. These agricultural So that means that agricultural productivity during this time was very low, leading to a frequent food shortages and famines. So most of the rural population engaged in labor-intensive farming with the use of basic tools, and they relied heavily on manual and animal power. So this is the Jethro Tull's mechanical seed drill. So the Jethro Tull mechanical seed drill was adopted by many landowners, and it helped to form the basis of modern agriculture. So in the 1700s, farmers began to enclose bigger plots of land to make agriculture more efficient and experiment with new crops. So the agricultural revolution helped set the stage for the industrial revolution. With more food available, people's diet and health improved. These changes contributed to a rapid growth of population. With more people, the demand for manufactured goods like clothing grew. Moreover, the new methods of farming needed fewer people to work the land. Unemployed farm workers formed the labor pool for the factories. So as we can see, there will always be the two sides of the coin. So the agricultural revolution turned to be beneficial for the people to improve their health by producing enough amount of food for them to eat every day. And on the other hand, labors appeared cheaper than the value of the machines, because the owners of the machines prefer to work the machines rather than the people. The textile factories lead the industrial revolution. So, when changes in agriculture laid off many workers and farm workers, they look for new work in the towns or cities. It was a blessing that the new mechanical inventions and new factories were being created. So the first industry to be mechanized was the manufacture of cotton cloth. As compared to other enterprises, the cotton industry was young, so there was much room for growth and invention. So this is the timeline of the invention of different machineries that were used to manufacture cotton or cloth in general. So in 1733, John Kay invented the flying shuttle, a device that doubled the speed of producing cotton thread. In 1764, James Hargreaves invented the spinning jenny, where a person could spin up to 80 threads at a time. So in 1769, Richard Arkwright built water frame, a machine that could hold up to 100 spindles. In 1779, Samuel Crompton developed the spinning mule, which used features of spinning jenny and water frame. And in 1785, Edmund Cartwright invented the power loom, which quickened the process of weaving. So the development of new sources of energy. Although the textile mills run by water power started factory manufacturing, steam power became the major source of energy. The idea of steam power engine had been around for a very long time. So James Watt, a Scottish engineer who perfected the reliable steam engine, his steam engine supplied most of the power to run industries in Britain and in the other countries in Europe. On the other hand, Michael Faraday invented electricity dynamo, which supplemented water and steam as a source of power for industrial purposes that we can still use in the contemporary era. So to end my presentation, let me leave you a quote. Every industrial revolution brings along a learning revolution, by Alexander De Croo. Thank you for listening.